For those who have been burned by agencies, mortgage brokers, finance brokers, whatever the case may be, working in financial services, I understand that it's a difficult position to be in, having spent thousands on ads myself that hasn't actually generated a return for myself, essentially down the drain. I get that it's a difficult thing. That being said, making blanket statements such as, I got burned, this didn't work, this doesn't work, i.e. ads don't work, Facebook doesn't work for myself, generally isn't very useful, and it doesn't really get you anywhere, because I don't mind losing or failing so long as I can learn a lesson from it, and I can move forward and do better off the back of those failures moving forward. So I want to take you guys through my own mental processing for this, and if you have been burned, help you understand why it might be the case. Because generally speaking, making statements like, I got burned, or blanket statements like that don't tend to really get you anywhere. So let's break it down in a little bit more detail. If you were to get burned by an agency, then realistically, there's one or two scenarios that happened here. One is that you got leads and you couldn't convert them, didn't convert any sales, which is probably the most typical. Most agencies and most people are able to generate leads, but actually converting those leads into clients, well, completely different story. And the second scenario is that you didn't get any leads whatsoever. This is less common, and if this is the case, then well, you're just working with a really bad agency or a really bad third party that wasn't able to generate any leads or any inquiries whatsoever. On account of not getting any leads, 100% agency's fault. If you're working with someone who's saying that they'll get you clients and they can even get you leads or inquiries in the door, 100% the agency's fault. Makes things a little bit more tricky. When it comes to getting leads in and not being able to convert the leads, this is a little bit more tricky, but it's not to say that you can't fix it. Generally speaking, it comes down to, and I've taken a note on this, a mismatch in expectations, a lack of experience at dealing with the leads coming through, and a mismatched skill set, as I'd put it. And I'll break this down for you now. So when it comes to advertising and generating leads, people are getting them from, typically they're getting them from Meta. It's very rare that someone these days is going to be doing ads if they're not on Meta. Some people are still using Google, LinkedIn, etc. But for any lead, regardless of where it's coming from, typically speaking, let me take Meta leads. People that are coming through are problem aware, but not solution aware. What do I mean by that? I mean the people, the leads, the people that you're dealing with have a situation, have a problem that allows them to resonate with the messaging on the advertising that they click on. Let's say, for example, I'll just take a really simple one: first-time buyers, right? Someone who's living at home, someone who's stuck renting, paying too much, feels that that's going somewhere. They're thinking to themselves every time they pay rent, every time they have an event that they love to invite their friends to, for example, if only I had my own place, if only I wasn't spending this money on rent, so on and so forth. But they don't have, a property in mind that they're thinking, oh, I need to get moved into this place. I know exactly how much I need to save. I'm setting aside this much each month to get my deposit ready. I've got all of my pay slips in order. They're not at that stage yet because they're not solution aware. That's the biggest thing there. So they are problem aware, but they're not necessarily solution aware. And they haven't yet decided, listen, I'm 100% going to be going ahead with this solution. And I know that this is the path that I want to take. They just resonate enough to come in for a conversation in the first place. And with that being said, there's a general statistic that goes saying that about 3% of any market is ready to buy, like right now, whereas the other 97% are still in that stage where they're gathering more information, understanding their options, understanding what they actually want to do moving forward in this domain. Take any decision that you ever make. It's very rare that you think to yourself, for anything above like 50 quid, 100 quid, for example, that you would just go, oh, okay, yeah, let me do it. Just see the thing, purchase it and buy it. It's very rare that that's the case. Say you're going on holiday, you want to, go on Skyscanner, see the different flights. You want to think about different countries that you want to go to. You want to see when your friends or family are available, make sure your calendars and schedules all align. That's just one example. But when it comes to a mortgage, when it comes to massive amounts of debt, borrowing loads of money and massive commitments for 5 to 30 years, whole nother story. It is a whole nother story. And it's not to say that you can't sell to these people, right? That's not what I'm saying here whatsoever. And I'm going to take you through that, by the way, in terms of how to do that now. But the problem, and if I refer back to what I said initially, the skill set mismatch, the lack of the misalignment and expectations, and what was the other point that I had made? Lack of experience in dealing with meta leads. That's where all this comes in, because the current leads that you're dealing with are likely existing clients. Number one, existing clients, i.e., people that you have already worked with. You sorted them with a mortgage X amount of years ago, and you're handling renewals every 2 or 5 years at the end of their fixed, or if they're looking through additional borrowing, for whatever reason, you're able to do that business with them because the relationship is already there, right? And the other one is going to be referrals. And this kind of comes from existing clients, right? Because the referrals will come from who? Well, they come from clients you've already worked with, existing clients, so they feed into each other. And yes, I understand that there are obviously exceptions to this, by the way. You've got introducers, you've got buying needs, you've got organic inquiries coming from Google, etc. as well. But for the majority of brokers that I speak with, I haven't spoke with probably, I don't know, a couple of hundred at least, close to 1,000 in the last couple of years. The vast majority of them, at least 50% of the business, is coming from these two sources. And the thing about these two sources is that the problem aware, solution aware isn't applicable to them. They're problem aware, yes, but for the most of them, they are solution aware. They are sold on the process. They are ready to go. And the sale is made at the first point of contact. First point of contact, i.e., they make a decision to go ahead and they say, you know what, this is for me. I need a mortgage. Let me go and speak to a mortgage advisor. But that's not the case when it comes to people coming from Meta. They're thinking to themselves, I want to move out. Let me speak to a mortgage advisor. And then there is a gap between them actually deciding to get a mortgage to allow them to move out. You see where I'm going? I sort of lost my track of words there. But people, existing clients and referrals, they are making the decision to go ahead, and then they are reaching out and speaking with an advisor. People from Meta, they are understanding that they might want to move out at some stage, speaking with an advisor preemptively, and then there's a process before they actually go ahead and do that. And it's that sales process. That is the lack of experience, the misalignment in expectations, the mismatch in skill set as well, because most brokers are very good at maintaining existing clients, with maintaining relationships, doing a very good job, being personable, being almost friendly with them, and building up that relationship with their existing clients so that they can get referrals. And this works very well. This is absolutely fine. It's very stable, but it's very stable at the 5 to 20K a month mark. You can't randomly generate or predictably or consistently generate new referrals, new clients just out of thin air. That's going to be dictated by things like the market, the size of your professional networking capacity there to generate new clients, to generate referrals. You can't do that stuff on demand. It's only through advertising, it's only through marketing, it's only through coming up with external sources of generating clients and generating inquiries that you can consistently and predictably grow your business, which is why people get into advertising in the first place, and it's why it's so attractive and appealing to so many brokers, and why you're still watching this video if you're still here with me. It's so you can make that work for yourself. So I want to take you through how you can actually bridge that gap of expectations, of misalignment and expectations of skill set, because it is not impossible. I'm doing it. If you're watching this, you end up working with me, I will do it with you. I've done it with previous clients, and all my clients are done it with their existing clients that are coming from Facebook and Instagram and Meta as well. So let's actually break it down. Let's draw a gap here. So I'll do a gap. Can you actually see that? Yes, you can. And let's call this the gap. This is client. This is prospect. And this is, I guess, how will we call it? Gap. Problem aware to solution aware. Now, there are a certain amount of things that need to be done for a prospect to turn into a new client. Number one is that they need to trust you or trust the advisor. So I'll write that down. Trust the advisor. And number two, they need to have conviction, confidence that the solution that you're providing for them is actually the right solution. specifically related to their individual circumstances, right? Because it might be a solution that works, but if it isn't related to them or catered to them, then it doesn't really matter. So conviction in the service. And we can build out both of these, right? So when it comes to trusting the advisor, and both of these kind of play into each other, your brand and the way that you're perceived matters. Historically, having a good website was enough. And with existing clients and referrals, the introduction and being told who you are is enough as well. But let's take that out of the picture because it's not relevant here. Like I said, having a good website used to be enough 20 years ago, but the world isn't that way anymore. It's changed. People don't make decisions. People don't build relationships. People don't trust people same way they used to. They do it online now instead in different platforms, through Instagram, through Facebook, maybe some people through LinkedIn as well. But if you look at screen time data, most people are spending time on Instagram and Facebook. And it's by building up a proper brand, a strong organic presence, that you can build that trust and build that relationship with the prospect and the advisor. So what I would want to be doing is stacking as much of a presence on there as I can, understanding how to build a proper presence online. And I have other videos on how to do this as well, by the way. If you want my advice on it, click below. Building up that brand, getting as many touch points in as you can, referring clients and prospects to it before you speak, manually sending them links to different scenarios. Say you're speaking with someone about debt consolidation, you have a long form video similar to this, the one that you're watching, on how debt consolidation works. Send them the video. Say, hey, listen, I have a video that I think is going to be perfectly relevant to your situation. Here, I talk you through exactly how it works on other clients that I've helped do it, and go through real case scenarios so you can see exactly what might happen with yourself. So now this person who's problem aware and doesn't know what the solution is can flesh out and build out that solution in their head and get closer to having conviction and clarity on what the future is going to look like if this is the path that they choose to go down. Do you think that's going to increase or decrease the likelihood that they do business with you? It's obviously increase. So it's building out that presence that's going to massively help you building that relationship between prospect and advisor. Conviction in the service and making sure that it's relevant to them. And this solution will also build trust in the advisor as well, by the way. It's just having a strong discovery process and having a strong sales process. You can get people onto the call. You can send them as much material as you want, or organic branding, as many follow-ups, as many emails, all that as you want. But if you're awful at sales, you're not going to make any sales. So I think a lot of people view sales in the wrong way. It's like, oh, we have this amazing panel of lenders. We're super quick. We can get back to you ASAP. We can do this. We can do this. But the client doesn't really care about any of that. They want conviction and certainty that the future is going to pan out the way they want it to. And this is where understanding human behavior comes in as well, because humans will always move away from pain and towards pleasure. So to really do that and really make them need to take action, you want to understand their biggest pains and their biggest pleasures. Stretch that gap as far as you can and instill yourself and your service and your solution in between the two of them as a bridge between the 2 points. So people say that, you can't sell mortgages, you sell protection. People buy mortgages, but you need to sell protection. I disagree. You absolutely can sell a mortgage, because if you get somebody on who has £30,000 worth of credit card debt, for example, and they are spending £400 to £500 a month just to service that interest, and at the same time, they're telling their kids that, they can't afford to go on holiday. They can't afford to send them to that new boxing club or dancing club, whatever it is. They can't afford to have this birthday for their kids, so on and so forth. They can't afford to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is. If you're telling me you can't build out enough pain in that circumstance, in that chronic condition, to make them think that it's right to take action and build out a future scenario where they can do all these things, if you're not able to do that, then it's per sales. And it's also per customer service, because regardless of how you frame this, you might call that manipulative, you might think that's negative or look down on it. Is the client going to be in a better or worse position as a result of taking action and going on this? Obviously, it's going to be a better position. Maybe they pay you 500 quid, £1,000 product fee. It's 3 months worth of interest rolled into one to save them, I don't know, 20 grand, probably more than that, probably 50 grand in interest over the course of servicing that for the term of the debt, right? So it's better for the client, it's better for you. Having that strong sales process, having that strong discovery process is going to be massive for that, because it helps the client recognize that they need to take action. Getting tie-downs from people, asking direct questions, not leaving things that are an open end. So like, oh, let me get back to you. Let me think. Let me do this. Okay, cool. What makes you want to do this? Why are you still uncertain at this point? Let me unpack that. What's behind that? Try and dig a little bit deeper instead of taking surface level answers at face value. Break it down, build that trust, understand what's really behind that, what's really driving them into fear at this stage and not taking action. And if there is a scenario logistic issue that they genuinely can't do something right now, book in a follow-up call with them. Book that on the call, book it into the calendar, make them commit to showing up. Say, in between that time, I'm going to do this for you. And if we get in the next call, we can go through that. And that gives them an incentive to show up as well, and gives them that certainty that there's continuity in the process. There's a reason to show up to the call as well. Doing all of those things is going to build that trust between you and the person, because you're understanding what's really making them tick, what's really giving them that uncertainty and fear, and what they really want out of life. And if you can facilitate that change, facilitate that transformation, do you think they're going to trust you more or less? The answer is obviously going to be more, right? So it's getting those tie downs, having a strong sales process, understanding what they're afraid of, why they're doing this in the first place, and what they really want out of it, as well as having a strong presence, a strong organic presence, and building that authority online as well, that you can make up that gap in problem awareness to solution awareness. Previously with existing clients, yes, you can do that through the reputation of your brand, but you don't have that playing in your favor for people coming from Meta because they haven't been referred to and they aren't existing clients. You don't have that pre-built relationship. But that's how you build it. You build it through everything that I've just talked about for the last 2 or 3 minutes. The most important part that I'm trying to get across, and the most important lesson, or the overarching lesson of this video, is that you're no longer acting as a mortgage advisor or a service provider or a customer service person anymore. You're playing the role of Meta salesperson, someone who's making sales and getting clients on board from leads coming from Meta. And you're not going to do that using the processes that you use to service existing clients, to service referrals. It's kind of like using the right bait to catch the right fish, right? And processes for different solutions, for different outcomes and different goals aren't going to work for these ones that we're looking to do, right? It's like putting the wrong fuel in the wrong engine. It's not going to run. So making that shift in identity of changing from mortgage broker and service provider to Meta salesman is the biggest thing there. And for me, it probably took me about 1 to 2 years to do that, to learn how to really sell as people coming from Meta, to learn how to sell people that don't trust me yet, that I don't have a relationship with yet. But that's me having built my business out of nothing, out of thin air. My start in sales was building a list of businesses from Google Maps, calling them and saying, hey, mate, I have something to sell to you. Are you open to it? And well, if I didn't get that, I didn't pay the bills. So it's ultimately about what you want. If you're looking to traverse that gap and build up your skills in selling on Meta, you absolutely can do it. Like I said, it took me 1 to 2 years, but if you had someone like myself who had a vested interest in allowing you to do that quicker so that you can make more money and I can make more money and we can both build successful businesses and help lots of clients along the way, you can shortcut that down to a couple of weeks. And if you are looking for that support from myself one-to-one, you can click on the link down below. The two of us can just have an opportunity to understand what you're looking to do with your business. If Meta and generating new clients and opportunities on Meta could be there, if we can build up those sales skills as well to help you achieve that next level in business, whatever the bottleneck may be, I'm keen to explore it with you. So by all means, click down below. You can get in to speak with me, see if this could be a fit. And I look forward to speaking with you then. But I appreciate you tuning in, regardless of where you go.